All right. So, boys, as promised, I am going to do a little YouTube video for you of each one of the lessons that we do together as a Hangout so that you guys can go back and reference it. So, today during our Hangout, we talked about two different things. We talked about what a sum is, and we talked about what a unit fraction is. So when we talk about what is a sum is the answer to a division problem. The answer to an addition problem. And up until this point, we were doing whole numbers, but now we're doing fractions. So today we're going to work with the sum of different fractions, right? The answer to an addition sentence using fractions. Okay. And I'm going to show you an example. 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. 2/4 is the sum. Okay. Today, what we did, they gave us the answer, they gave us the sum, and we had to come up with the unit fractions. And now I'm using our second word here, unit fractions that made up each sum. So what a unit fraction is when you have one part of however many pieces your fraction is. So if you had 1 out of 4 is a unit fraction, 1/4. The other example I gave you during our little hangout was 1/6. If we had one part of the 6 pieces. If you have one part of any amount of pieces in comparison to the whole, that is a unit fraction. So there's going to be two different things that were asked of you today when you're doing your lesson. The first thing is, like I just explained, they're going to give you fractions, and I'm going to give you an example, 4/6. They're giving you a sum. They're asking you what unit fractions make up this sum. So I just explained to you that unit fractions are when you have one part. So 1 out of how many pieces are all together? 6. There's 6 pieces in our whole. So 1/6 is the unit fraction, right? And how many of these unit fractions make up our sum? So if we have 4/6 all together, how many 1/6 size pieces do we need? And a lot of you were able to tell me that it would be 6 1/6 size pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 4/6. Nope. Mrs. Slattery did that incorrectly. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only need 4. I did 6/6. I made the whole. Okay. We only needed 4/6, right? So we have 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6. And there was a model there drawn for you where they always show you compared to the one whole. And then underneath, they broke it down into the sixths for you. So these would be the 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, and I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. Nope, Mrs. Slattery keeps doing it. I keep giving you 6/6 instead of 4. So here you can see that you have 4/6, right, compared to the one whole, and then you're being shown that when you add up 4 1/6 size pieces, you get 4/6. Okay, hopefully I didn't confuse you too much there because I keep wanting to make a whole. Let me show you another one for clarification. If you are given the fraction 5/9, we have 9 pieces to make up the whole here, right? But they're only asking us for 5 of them. 5/9 is my sum. So if we are asked what unit fractions, write an addition sentence using unit fractions, we would have 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9. So altogether, I have 5 1/9 size pieces. So 5/9 is equal to 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 1/9. 5 1/9 size pieces would give me 5/9. Hopefully that's more clear that time. The other thing I wanted to show you is that they ask you, once you've become very familiar with this strategy, they ask you to come up with these sums in more than one way. So the first way to come up with a sum that's a fraction is we can always go back to making these sums using unit fractions. But another way to do this is if we looked at this example, we could do this a few different ways. I could combine these two, right? 1/9 and 1/9, and I could make this 2/9, couldn't I? And that would leave me with how many over here? 1, 2, 3. 3/9 over here. Now, is it safe to say that this is another example for how to make 5/9 or how to get 5/9 as a sum? If I add 2/9 plus 3/9, 2 and 3 does give me 5, doesn't it? So this is another way. So this would be two different ways to get 5/9. And sometimes they might ask you for 3 ways. And if they did, that's okay, because we can do so many different combinations here. So if I didn't combine these this way, what if I combined them this way and I kept this guy by himself? And I combined all of these. Then I would have 1, 2, 3, 4/9 over here. Isn't it safe to say that 1/9 plus 4/9 also gives me 5/9? And I want you to recognize that once you do it with unit fractions, it's very easy to see all the different combinations that you can make. So I think this is a good first step when we're breaking out these sums, okay, into different addition sentences, is to start with our unit fractions, even if it's not specifically being asked of you, because then we can easily manipulate to make different add-ins with our fractions. All right, so that is the lesson that we had today, which was 7.2. I'm going to come back to my camera now. That was the lesson that we had today, which was 7.2. Lost my, hold on one second. Writing fractions as sums, okay? And then what I left you to do was number 5 and number 7 on page 393. So let me know if you had any problems with that. And tomorrow we will continue with 7.2. I will post the animated math models for you to look at, and you'll do page 395. So you'll see that all post on my Google Classroom tomorrow. If you guys are able to view this video on my YouTube, do me a favor and go check it out and let me know. Okay? All righty. Thanks, guys.